So welcome everybody, this is Rare Disease Day, and I'm sure that many of you haven't really heard of that before. I started harping on about it and putting posters up all around the school. But this is something that's very dear to my heart, and I think it's something that everybody should be aware of for the good of the world and our community in the future. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about what a rare disease is. I think everybody knows what rare means. But when we talk about these things in a formal way or in an official way, we define a rare disease as a group of people that have a set of challenges or symptoms that are as infrequent as 1 in 2,000 or less. So there are some rare diseases that are 1 in 2,000, there are some that affect as few as 1 in a million or 1 in a billion. Okay, so individually, these types of diseases are very rare, and it's unlikely that you would meet somebody with just one disease. However, there are literally thousands of different rare diseases, 6,000 and more to be exact. So much so that in total 5% of the global population is affected by a rare disease of some kind. Now, if you were to put all of those people together in one country, you would find that they fill the United States of America. Now that's a pretty big country. It's the 3rd largest country in the world. So we have 300 million people affected by a rare disease. Now the reason why that's important and the reason why Rare Disease Day has come about is because unfortunately only 5% of that 300 million have the chance of a cure. So you have all these people in the world who go to the doctor because they have problems. They see lots of different doctors, they have lots of tests, but the doctor ends up scratching their heads. They don't know what to do, they can't help. So the person goes home with no help. And that is how they have to stay, forever, for their whole life, unless we do something about it. Okay, so where do rare diseases come from? Typically, they are genetic, they can be inherited from parents. It might be that a parent knows that they have a rare disease, or it might be that they don't know, and they are something called a carrier. And if they happen to have a baby with another carrier, then there is a chance of having a baby with this rare disease. The other option is that it could happen spontaneously during pregnancy. So something the mother could be exposed to could cause a change in the DNA of the developing baby. So in total, 72% of people with rare diseases get it because of a genetic cause, so they're born with it. But there are still a large percentage of people that might develop it at some point in their lives. So that could happen because they've been exposed to something environmental, like radiation, or it might be that you get a virus or some kind of bacteria, or it might even be because you've had treatment for cancer that leads to a rare disease. So unfortunately, you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm okay, I don't have a rare disease. But unfortunately, it could happen to you at some point, or somebody in your family could have a child with one. And all of a sudden, it becomes very, very real and very, very present when you suddenly know somebody who has a rare disease. So unfortunately, because diseases are rare, they often are referred to as orphan diseases. And this is a term applied to rare diseases when no research is taking place for that disease. And this is typically because of the cost associated with it. So if you have a disease that affects 1 in 300,000 or 1 in a million, if you come up with a treatment for it, there's no money to be made from it. It costs a lot of money to make that treatment, and then nobody's going to want to fund that. Okay, so all of a sudden we have all of these diseases, and this is why we have such a large problem with rare diseases. There are so many people in the world who don't get any help. So this is a bit of a stark statistic for you. But there are so many different types of rare disease that 1 in 20 will be affected by one at some point in their lives. So that's a bit scary, isn't it, when you think that there's no research being done, there's no money for this stuff. Okay, so that's really why Rare Disease Day has come to be about, and why I think it's something that we should all think about at some point. So I'm going to show you a video now, and this is from the official organisers of Rare Disease Day. And you're going to see different people. Some of them look like they might have something different about them. Some of them look just like anybody else, and their symptoms are internal. So have a look.
Every day is a surprise.
Living with a rare disease.
It's a roller coaster.
Between happiness, tenderness, and struggle.
Getting the right specialized care.
Feeling included in social occasions.
In this difficult moment.
I think about all the people
that are always there to support me.
This is my day, our day.
Today we can shine.
And share our stories.
So, let's come together.
Because together we can do more.
More than you can imagine. Take part in Rare Disease Day.
So all of your children have been taking part in Rare Disease Day activities over the past few weeks, and they have definitely shown their support of rare diseases, which has been absolutely amazing. So to give you a summary of what Rare Disease Day is about, Rare Disease Day creates visibility and community, research and unity, changing the world, drawing together to find new treatments, improve healthcare, awareness, collaboration, equity and more inclusion to create a better future for everyone. Okay, so why am I so motivated to talk about rare diseases? Why do I care so much? And the reason is because I'm a mum with a little girl who has a rare disease. And she has something called Epidermolytic Ichthyosis, but that is an absolutely horrible mouthful, so we shorten it to EI. Now, EI is a rare genetic skin disorder that affects between 1 in 100,000 and 1 in 300,000 people. It can come from a parent or it can occur spontaneously, and that is what happened for us. It's caused by a genetic variant on one of 4 different keratin genes, and it's characterised by these symptoms of blistering, skin fragility, alongside excess skin growth that you have to try to manage. So there's no cure for it. It's only possible to try and manage the symptoms with long baths, lots of exfoliation, wound care, and the application of lots of different creams. So this is what EI skin can look like. And I have to tell you that this is actually a mild version of what EI can look like. So you can see on the far side that it's very sort of red, inflamed, itchy, sore skin, blisters, skin that can come off really easily just from having a cuddle on a hot day. And then on the side closest to me, you can see what's called hyperkeratosis. And that's where the skin gets really thick. And if you let it get too thick, or if you can't control it, then it starts to limit mobility. And that means that you can't move your limbs properly, you can't run around, you can't jump, and if you do, your skin will crack and bleed and hurt. So that's just to give you an idea of what those symptoms look like. So if you read about something in a book, it just looks boring, it's just a list of things, but when you actually see what those things relate to and think about what that might feel like, it becomes a very different thing. So how does EI affect everyday life? So I've described a few of these things. It can restrict movement, it can cause disability. Also, people who have this, because their skin doesn't work as it should, they often get skin infections, and these things occur frequently. They can be really painful, and they can sometimes be life-threatening. We actually had somebody in our community die last year because of a skin infection. The biggest challenge with EI is that it takes between 2 and 5 hours of care every single day. You can't have a break. If you do, then somebody suffers, and you just have to get on with it. And if you don't, then there's a chance that your child could be disabled for life. And some people who have it are, even though they try really hard. But one of the other things is that people with EI can look different, and that brings a whole series of social challenges that might also be just as hard as the skin symptoms themselves. So I'm going to show you a little video, and this is really something that shows what the impact of EI actually is and what it does to a child. EI, you have epidermolytic ichthyosis, don't you? And what does that mean that we have to do every day?
We have to do baths, trees, and scrubbing.
And scrubbing. And does it take a long time?
Yes.
How long does it take, do you think? I don't know. It takes a long time. Yeah, it takes a long time, doesn't it? What else do you think you'd like to do if you didn't have to do all the baths and the scrubbing and everything?
I just to play.
You just want to play? Is that what you really want to do? Yeah. So shall we try and ask these kind people to help us find a cure for EI? Would that be awesome? Yeah, I think that would be awesome too, wouldn't it? Thank you. She's got a little smile on her face there. I didn't want to bring her up on the stage to make her say any of those things, but that is the reality of what her condition is that every hour that we spend doing something that she really doesn't like, she misses out on playtime, and that's the case for all the children who have EI. So these are a few of the real life stories about this condition that you might not think about if you're not in the middle of it. So these are real life testimonials of people who live in the EI community. So realising that just 10 minutes in the car seat will cause massive blistering. So if you just want to go to the grocery store or you need to do the school run, you put your baby with EI in the car and you know that it's going to cause them pain. That's really hard. No one wanting to hold my daughter's hand because her skin looks and feels different. Always feeling anxious about holding my baby for fear of causing more painful wounds. So this looks like a lovely picture of me and my sweet baby, but in actual fact I'm holding her like that because I want to minimise pressure and I don't want to cause more blisters. We were just at a friend's party, we were trying to enjoy normal life for a little while. So it's a lovely picture, but there's always this realisation behind it that there's anxiety and fear of wounds. Having to buy 1 million pairs of shoes and living with a disappointment when every single pair causes a blistered ankle in under 5 minutes. We go through a lot of shoes, don't we, Ariane? Yeah, we do. Having to use an electric sanding tool, a Dremel, to keep my daughter's hands functional. So that's how thick the skin can get sometimes, and this is, again, quite a mild version of this particular problem. So there's lots of people out there in the world who are using industrial tools to try and keep hands and feet functional. And this is a really sad story. My son and I, they both have the same condition, were removed from a flight because I didn't have a certificate to prove we're not contagious. So her and her son boarded a flight and were removed. They told them that they had a condition. They showed the condition on the internet and they were still removed because people were afraid of how they looked. They thought they were going to catch their disease. It's just not okay, is it? It's not fair. Okay? So, sadly, people with rare diseases often get challenged by strangers every day. And they get asked these questions just when they're going about their normal life. They might just be going to the grocery store to buy milk or bread, or, going out for gelato or something. And people come up to them, they don't know them, and they'll ask them these questions. And I want you to try and look at my face and listen to the tone of my voice when I ask these questions, because this is what they get every day. What's wrong with you? Is it contagious? Were you burned in a fire? Why do you look like that? Does my face look friendly? Is my tone friendly? Is it nice? No. So I've been teaching the kids this, and I've been asking them to think about how they ask questions, the words that they use, the tone that they use, how they approach it. And it's just important that we remember that inside, everybody who looks a bit different, they're just like the rest of us. They want to have friends, they want to go about their life, they want to be happy. And unfortunately, when they get challenged by strangers every day with these nasty questions, it makes them feel that they're less of a person. And they hide away, they don't want to go out, they don't want to do things because they're afraid. And they don't want to show themselves to the world because the world isn't very kind to them. So Rare Disease Day is all about trying to show our colours, show the world, make it more normal to be different. Okay? So what we need to do to help as a community is show respect to people, irrespective of how they look. Be kind and try and be inclusive as much as possible. Okay, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am, because because obviously this is a fundraiser, and I'm here asking you to consider making a donation to the EI Cure project. You can see on your programmes there's a little bit of information, and if you would consider it, then I want you to know who I am and where your money might be going. So at Tastis, I'm a service learning teacher. I have a 10th grade group, and we talk about rare diseases. They do research. I encourage them to think of ways that they can do fundraising for charities that they find themselves for different rare diseases. I'm a rare disease advocate because I'm a rare disease mum. Before that, I was also a healthcare professional. I was a radiographer. I worked in oncology for 20 years, and I used to lead a research group. I'm also a health services researcher, and I have a specialty in genomic medicine. And I'm also the founder and the head of research of a charity called the EI Cure Project. So the EI Cure Project is a global charity. We have an association in Switzerland, charity in the UK, a 501c3 in the United States of America, and a charity in Canada. We're a global charity that funds research to find better treatments for the rare blistering skin disease, Epidermolytic Ichthyosis. So how do we help people in the EI community? We try to raise awareness, we create community, we run a support group for people all over the world. We provide expertise, we share experiences, we try to build bridges between patients and healthcare professionals. That's something that's quite challenging in rare diseases because there aren't many people who know about the condition. We also nurture partnerships between potential funders and our charity and between patients. So we champion research. That is a major thing that we do. So we also provide lots of evidence-based resources for anyone needing help with EI skincare. Prior to us doing this, there was nobody doing this in the world. So if you were a doctor wanting to learn about EI, you couldn't find any information. So we now provide that information. We have a group of world-class researchers. When we started doing this 2 years ago, we just had 2 researchers, one from Austria and one from Qatar. And we now have 14. We've gotten to the point now where we're building reputation around the world in an academic forum, and now some of these people are coming to us because they want to work with us. And part of that is because they have patients who have EI, and there's nothing that they can do. They come, there's no new options for them. So they want to work with us, they want to find solutions for people who have EI. So this is what we've managed to achieve so far. In our first 2 years, we raised 230,000 francs, but we managed to fund projects to the value of over 500,000 francs. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that I try and make your donation stretch as far as possible. Okay, we've gained collaborators with lots of different universities, in London, in Austria, in Germany, and we also have collaborators with other charities in the UK and another charity in the United States of America. So I want you to know that I'm a person who knows what I'm doing. I know how to talk to people about research, I know about genomic medicine, and I know how to put people together because it's something that I used to do before I was ever interested in rare diseases. So I'm also this person, look at this, it's in the same room. I'm this person who comes to school and I talk to elementary school kids, middle school kids and high school kids. And because I want them to know about these diseases and I want them to be better people in the future, to think of the community, to inspire them. Perhaps one day one of them might become a doctor or a scientist that finds a cure for a rare disease. Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay? So by investing in rare disease charities, you could literally change the course of a whole community's life. Okay, that's what this research is about. We are literally trying to find a cure. Every single donation that we receive goes directly to research. We don't pay for anything else with our funding. Okay, it doesn't pay for any person's salary, it doesn't pay for any overheads. It all goes to research. So we also do loads of really fun things. Kids, have you done this with me today? Yeah! Was it really fun? So, it doesn't all have to be doom and gloom and sad stories, okay? Sometimes we want to make it really fun so that people want to be involved. And we also got the Tassus Tigers involved, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so our big dream for people with EI is for children to spend less time on care and more time at play. So if you would consider helping us realise this dream, I would be incredibly grateful if you would have a look at your programme and use the QR code to consider making a donation to our charity. Thank you so much.